Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is the big question, the show that gives you too much information about your friends, your family, and those closest to you. The ones you share your dreams with, your fears with, and your biggest secrets with. The people that you can trust with anything, and how all of those people are all alien shapeshifters here to infiltrate our society and bring us down from the inside.
No!
Did I say big question? I meant InfoWars.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is gonna give some people some complexes. Look out, you're safe, wherever you are. Except for you, yes, Jerry. You're not totally safe, fine. Jerry. You're in trouble.
All Jerrys, all of your friends and loved ones are aliens.
They're alien shapeshifters.
My name is MT, and I'm here today with off-screen producer Brandon, who may or may not be a Skrull. I don't know. Brandon.
I don't know. I think I remember being me, but maybe those are false memories implanted in me by some sort of supreme intelligence or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I can trust. Am I me? Am I me?
Or maybe I'm just saying that to keep my cover intact.
Oh no, you're the Skrull. I knew it.
All right, Brandon, what's our big question for today?
Well, MT, with the Secret Invasion series coming to Disney Plus very soon, it's got all of us wondering who out there could be a Skrull. This is going to be the big question, the big debate as we get closer and closer to Secret Invasion. We get this question all the time here at the channel, and everyone's got their own opinions. But now I think it's the perfect time to really dig into it. It all leads us to this week's big question: who in the MCU is already a Skrull? We're not talking about new Skrulls. Who's a Skrull? Who's a Skrull-in-hiding? Who's been hanging out there, just scrolling along, scrolling and listening to Skrillex?
Scrolling and Skrillexing. 24/7. That's what the Skrulls love to do. I bet the Skrulls took over Skrillex and now it's Skrillex.
Yeah, I don't know what Skrillex is supposed to look like. He could be a Skrull.
Exactly. Anybody could be a Skrull, really. And there are a lot of big names and new faces that will be coming to the MCU in the Secret Invasion series. And undoubtedly, some of those people will be Skrulls. I hate to break it to you, but it's probably gonna happen. It's gonna break all of our hearts.
A lot of these new people will definitely be Skrulls. It's true.
Oh yeah, we can't trust all these newbies.
No.
What the heck's I mean, look, I love you, Kate Bishop, but you're a little bit too good to be true. A little bit too good to be true. I gotta keep my eyes on you. I don't know.
Oh, I think you're gonna keep your eyes on her just fine, MT.
Yeah.
You don't need some grand Skrull conspiracy.
That wasn't a problem. I was already keeping watch.
You're already doing your due diligence.
But it's also very likely that this series will reveal that one or more of some of our beloved current MCU members were replaced by a Skrull at some point in MCU history. So let us break down some of our top candidates for secret Skrulls. Let's get into it, Brandon. But let's start off with our, the star of the show, the star of Secret Invasion, because we got to consider Nick Fury, because we know he's in Secret Invasion, and that the show will be dealing some time during the Blip, and some evidence on Fury. It's already confirmed that he has a Skrull counterpart in Talos, so he sort of has already been replaced by a Skrull.
Right.
And he has been confirmed to have been blipped. And he's also a very powerful individual in human society.
Right.
And he's a prime target for impersonating. Because that's what the Skrulls do. They don't just impersonate your neighbor for fun. It's like, hey, I'm just going to take over your neighbor. Let's just do that. No, they're taking over the big names in society, like the president, the senators, all those people, so they can take over slowly. So yeah, that's Fury. I feel like
he's a good candidate. Like you said, we know he's been a Skrull is taking his place at some point. There's lots of people, with the news that the show is going to cover sometime during the Blip, and Nick Fury is supposed to be gone during that. Was it Nick Fury that was blipped? Was it Talos that was blipped? And we thought it was Nick Fury. All this confusing stuff. But that would mean Talos would have had to have had the Captain Marvel pager, because we saw him whip it out. So I don't know. Yeah. And now there could be a fun misdirection on this show where we're like, oh, we know Talos can be Nick Fury, but what if it's another Skrull being Nick Fury, not Talos? That could be intense. That could be intense.
This is true. They could have multiple Nick Furies. It's true. Multiple Skrulls could take the same human.
Yeah.
Because no one called dibs.
No one verbally called dibs.
But there's also, Nick Fury's best friend, Maria Hill. Maria Hill has a confirmed Skrull counterpart in Soren, because we saw that in Spider-Man Far From Home. Her and Talos are working together on behalf of Nick Fury on Earth, while Nick Fury and Maria Hill are off doing God knows what in space. Even though it's not confirmed that Maria Hill's in space, but I think we can probably.
She usually goes where Nick Fury goes. She hangs around him. She hangs around him.
right-hand gal. But also, she's a prime Skrull target due to her close proximity to highly classified people and information. Like, she probably knows a lot of things herself, and she probably has access to a lot of stuff, even though S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded for a little bit. But she's probably, if Nick Fury is not available, Maria Hill is the person that you want to impersonate.
She knows a lot.
That's the next best thing.
She gets a lot done. She's able to do a lot. Now, here's something crazy. Maria Hill could have always been a Skrull. She could have been a Skrull from like day one. Like, there is no real Maria Hill, right? Like, the Maria Hill we see get dusted in Infinity War, that could be Soren. Like, Soren could have just slid in as Maria Hill, like, very early on, because Nick Fury meets the Skrulls in Captain Marvel in the 90s, right? And from then on, he could start putting them in places. And maybe, there was just a lady walking down the street, and Soren copied that lady, and then was like, okay, now and then Nick Fury makes all this fake paperwork for a Maria Hill, and it's like, this is my right-hand person, Maria Hill. But the whole time, from Iron Man all the way through Endgame, it's actually Soren the whole time. That's Maria Hill.
The whole time?
Wow.
I think that would be like a good reveal. And I put I don't think there's a real Maria Hill. I think it's always been a Skrull.
I would love that so much. Just like, hey, Maria Hill has always been a Skrull.
Yeah.
Like, there's never been a Maria Hill. We just made it up because, we just needed a cover. I would really dig that. I think that, because we don't know a lot about Maria Hill in the MCU, she's always been, she's probably, one of the most mysterious MCU characters that we have. We could totally do that. I feel like Marvel Studios could totally be like, yeah, she was a Skrull this entire time. That's why we didn't really show you guys her life. Because her life has been very weird. And very space-like.
Very space-like.
I love that idea. That's a really good idea. Well, those are the easy ones. Those two are of course, they're Skrulls. We already know they're Skrulls.
We've seen them
So now let's really start getting into it. Because, our next Skrull suspect is, of course, Sharon Carter, recently revealed to be the power broker in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because we see the sudden shift into the role of the power broker, and that's, a little bit too suspicious.
Yeah.
It's all right. You were, really cool with Steve in Winter Soldier. In Civil War, you guys did a little kiss, and then, now you're just evil? What's going on with that?
Yeah.
That seems kind of weird.
Very suspicious. And, the way she's able to infiltrate Madripoor and stuff so quickly, that would make sense if she's a Skrull and is able to, become whoever she wants to get the power she needs. And then it's just, the power broker. And that's also how no one maybe knew who the power broker was, because every time she met someone, she could have just taken a different form, right?
Exactly.
Now, I assume the Sharon Carter that was getting fresh with Steve Rogers, back in the day, I think that was a real person. I don't think Sharon Carter's been one the whole time.
Right.
Because I think Nick Fury was smart enough to know that he knows Skrulls exist, and as he's leading S.H.I.E.L.D., he probably had something where he was like, we got to X-ray everybody all the time. Because we know the internal organs don't match a human, right? The mimicry is mainly on the outside. So I'm pretty sure Nick Fury would be smart enough to be like, we need to check agents all the time just to make sure that they're people and not Skrulls, not robots, not anything else. So I think Sharon Carter was real, wasn't a Skrull, and then at some point during this blip, that's when she could have been swapped out. Who knows where the real Sharon Carter is? But I like the idea that Sharon Carter's a Skrull. That makes a lot of sense.
I think there's a lot of opportunity between the last time we see her in Civil War and when we see her in Falcon and Winter Soldier for her to be replaced by a Skrull.
Yeah.
So, and I think that she's in a really good position to be a Skrull because she's a person with a lot of contacts that used to be in S.H.I.E.L.D., a person that knows how to move around, and a person that people trust because she's the niece of Peggy Carter, who is a hero in human history. So it's just it's a really good role to have, especially if you're a Skrull and you're Sharon Carter, who has all these connections and is now evil as a power broker. And if I'm a Skrull army trying to gain influence, of course I'm going to want all the black market weapons and everything that the Earth has in my arsenal as much as possible for when I need to start shooting in a real war.
Okay, here's one. I got one for you, MT. All right, and this is a suspect that might break our hearts if they were revealed to be a Skrull, and that is one Mr. Harold Happy Hogan. Okay?
Oh no.
This could be really heavy to take. Though if Happy is a Skrull, he's certainly proven himself to be a very good one. You know what I mean? He's helped Peter.
Yes.
He helped Pepper and Morgan. All of those after Tony's death. He was there helping out, being there. but could he be a Skrull? Okay, he's someone who is very close to Tony Stark, which makes him a great candidate. You know, you want to keep eyes on Tony Stark and everything he's doing, and he makes sense because he could have been put into place by Nick Fury like very early on. You know, we talk about like Nick Fury, you know, meeting the Skrulls in the 90s. He knows how important Howard Stark is, and he knows that his son is going to take over. And maybe he's like, ooh, I got to get someone close to the sun. I'm going to invent this Happy Hogan person and put this Skrull in there, okay? Also, there's a lot of evidence because if you know the Secret Invasion series from the comics, Jarvis, the longtime companion of Tony Stark, turned out to be a Skrull. We don't have a live-action Jarvis in the MCU, but Happy Hogan in the MCU is kind of a mixture of Happy Hogan from the comics and a little bit of Jarvis mixed in there. So that's why I think, you know, there's a very good chance that Happy Hogan could be a Skrull. There's this big theory out there of a little clue, a little hint to Rooney that may have been planted. If you remember in Spider-Man Far From Home, okay, Happy comes to help Peter, and Peter's like, I f***ed up, I messed everything up, I screwed up, and they make a new suit, blah, 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 blah. And then Happy like FaceTime, he calls Nick Fury as the battle on the London Bridge is starting, the Tower Bridge, excuse me, Brits, the Tower Bridge is starting to pop off, right? He calls Nick Fury and he's FaceTiming and he's like,
over at Mr. Stark's going through his belongings, apparently there was a surfboard that you left behind. People over there said they didn't think that Nick Fury was a surfer. The guy said appearances can be deceiving.
Not mine.
And, you know, Nick Fury's like, yeah, don't talk to me. And he hangs up. And the whole point of that call was like the appearances can be deceiving thing to let Nick Fury know that Beck wasn't good, blah, 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 blah. That Nick Fury's a Skrull, okay? And Happy Hogan specifically says, I found this surfboard. If you recall the events of Captain Marvel, when the Skrullians first land in the water, and they're coming out of the water, and the first thing they see to copy is a person carrying a surfboard, MT. And this could have been a clue. Because there's four Skrulls that come out of the water. There's Talos, Soren, and a couple other Skrulls. One of those Skrulls dies and they cut him open. That other one, we don't ever really know what happens to that one. We kind of lose track of that one, okay? That could have become Happy, and Happy the Skrull is telling Nick Fury, AKA Talos the Skrull, surfboard, surfboard, surfboard. That's like the code word, right? Because that's the first thing they saw when they got to Earth. And they both became the woman. And Talos was like, I get to be the surfer chick. And then he's like, So Happy Hogan could be a Skrull, and the clues have been there since Far From Home.
I have never ever put that surfboard connection together. That is such a good idea.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
Now I don't trust Happy.
But we should trust him. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. He's been keeping Tony alive. Yeah. He's been keeping Pepper alive, Peter alive, Morgan alive. Like, he's a good guy. If he's a Skrull, he's a good guy. He's not doing anything nefarious. I mean, if he's been waiting till this moment to spring his trap, he's too late. You should have sprung your trap a long time ago, my guy.
Seriously. I mean, he got distracted with dating Aunt May.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, wait, I forgot to be evil.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm an alien sent to Earth to infiltrate and take over, and then I meet Aunt May, forget my previous plan. I got a new plan.
I drop all of my plans.
Yeah, I'm here to conquer Aunt May. You know what I'm talking about? But
no, I really like now. That is my headcanon now. Like that surfboard connection.
It's just very specific.
Too on the
very
nose.
Specific. Very
too
specific.
on the nose.
Yeah.
Y'all are hella specific.
We've got to talk about Pepper Potts because, I feel like it's fair to consider her as well.
Fair.
Because Tony helped cure Pepper after she was injected with Extremis, so he might have noticed at that point that her internal physiology was not human. So, she might not be a Skrull because, Tony is very familiar with her
body,
her internal organs at this point. That sounds weird. Oh my God, I don't mean it like that.
Oh, he's familiar.
But also the fact that. But also the fact that they had a kid means that she was a human up through Endgame. Yeah. So, what about now? What about after Endgame? Because with Tony gone, it could make Pepper a prime target as she is in charge of Stark Industries at this point, as far as we know. It seems that Stark Industries is still a big player in the MCU universe, and having Pepper be a Skrull or be replaced by a Skrull after the events of Endgame would be really appropriate. I think that having Pepper be a Skrull before Endgame would be
tough.
really controversial.
It'd be really weird.
Because like, you know, she's the one that says goodbye to Tony and like, while he dies, and like, it would be really weird. It's like, oh, it was secretly me. I was kissing some random chick's husband. But yeah, no. I think that after Endgame, like it makes sense for Pepper to.
If a Skrull slips in after Endgame, and then because now that the government just like confiscated all the Stark tech, right after Far From Home, if a Skrull had gotten in charge of Stark, and there's a Skrull in the government somewhere, and that Skrull's like, yes, take all of our stuff. She doesn't why didn't Pepper put up a fight to keep the government from taking all the Stark tech, right? Maybe because this Pepper's a Skrull, and she let it happen. Because she's got a Skrull on the inside. I don't know, MT. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's sus.
You can't trust anyone in these Marvel streets, man.
No, you can't trust anyone.
It's Secret Invasion season, man.
Yeah. Well,
you have to consider every single person.
Yeah. If we're in the sphere of Tony Stark right now, we got to also consider James Rhodes, a.k.a. Rhodey, a.k.a. War Machine.
Rodeo.
Okay? Rodeo, baby. We know Rhodey's already had one significant physical change from Iron Man 1 to Iron Man 2.
Yes.
Big change.
Yes.
Could have snuck a Skrull in there who maybe didn't get the copy right. I don't know. He's like close enough. Close enough. Rhodes wasn't a Skrull at least all the way through Civil War, because that's when he gets shot by Vision. He drops. He's paralyzed from the waist down, or has significant spinal damage. I don't know how long it goes on. I don't know if he's been cured yet. But at some point, he's going to get X-rayed after that happens, and they would have noticed. But maybe sometime after there, a new one slips in, right? A Skrull slips in as Rhodes, gets control of like the War Machine armor. Now we saw like a little preview that's kind of snuck out from Comic-Con. There's a scene where like in Secret Invasion that was in the trailer they showed at Comic-Con, where Nick Fury is talking to Rhodes and says, do you know all the people on your security detail? Almost like warning Rhodes, like someone on your detail might be a Skrull. But what if Rhodey is a Skrull? You know what I mean? He's already a Skrull. He's a great candidate. He's a high-ranking military officer, right? He has access to the War Machine armor. If a Skrull wants to get in there, boom. Because the Skrulls can't copy powers, right? So they usually try and be normal people. They can copy the look of powers, like they can copy wings and claws and stuff. They can't copy powers unless you get yourself a Super Skrull. Then you can copy the powers.
No, I think that Rhodey is a prime target, another prime target here, because like he is one of the he's the only person that has inherited an Iron Man suit. He's the only person that has the right at this point to don an Iron Man suit, and that's what people seem to want. Like we know that Armor Wars may or may not be coming. I don't know.
It's coming, baby. It's coming.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But like. And we didn't see it on their Phase 5 or Phase 6.
They got D23, yet. Baby.
But like maybe this is the case because like they decided to make Rhodey a Skrull. It's like, you know what? We're not gonna do Armor Wars with Rhodey. We might do Armor Wars with Riri, but we're not gonna do it with Rhodey because Rhodey is now a Skrull in the MCU. And we have a different plan for that. So no, I think it'd be really fun for Rhodey to be revealed as a Skrull. It would really break my heart because you know, I love me a good black superhero. That's unscrolled, but like, you know, it'd be really interesting to see what the MCU did with a Skrullified Rhodey, because that's a big get for the Skrull Empire.
Big get.
If they got Rhodey. Let's talk about Io from Wakanda, because she's one of the key members of the Dora Milaje here, and she's a great candidate to be a Skrull, considering that she has an inside eye watching all of Wakanda and their technology. Like she is one of the most trusted people in Wakanda, and she's very close with the Wakandan royal family. So like it would just make sense for her to sort of for the Skrulls to get someone that close in one of the most secure countries in the world.
Yeah,
like, that is the ultimate invasion. My God, if you can get into Wakanda, you deserve to get into anywhere, because that's a hard place to get into. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But
she's also close to the key players in the MCU now, like T'Challa, Shuri, Bucky Barnes. Like there's a lot of really close people that she can get to and potentially replace with a different Skrull. Like replacing Shuri as a Skrull would be a huge get, because like she's next in line for the throne. So it's like, hey, we got Shuri, so now we can kill her mom.
That would be tough to be Shuri, because they'd expect you to be really smart too. You'd have to be like very smart if you're going to replace Shuri. They'd be like, hey, Shuri, we need you to fix this nanotech, and you're just a Skrull, and you're like, oh no, I don't know how to.
So this dude gonna say the way that we view equilibrium in stars is wrong because they found conflicting evidence using the theory of consigliothesis. That's like saying the constraints of distortional drift doesn't actually hinder the progression of faulty and push field energy conversion.
Well, the Skrulls are at pretty high tech. Like, they're pretty
They
advanced.
are.
I think that, like, on a cosmic scale, I feel like they could probably keep up with Riri, but they might not have the exact terminologies for, like, Earth stuff down. But, like, I feel like they're pretty damn advanced.
Maybe. Okay. Io makes more sense than, like, Okoye. I feel like they would sniff out Okoye. But, like, Io could kind of sneak through as a Skrull, I think. And that would be really interesting, especially if maybe Bucky Barnes is a Skrull, MT. Maybe Io and Bucky Barnes are working together as like Skrulls. What? We know they got a little spark. They got a little spark there. What if they don't know that they're each Skrulls?
That's true.
Maybe they don't know that the other one's a Skrull. It could be beautiful. I mean, Bucky.
That'd be crazy.
Bucky is a man who's been like put on ice many times, right? He's been frozen in stasis, and at any of those points, you could swap him out for like a Skrull, right? Now he gets his arm blown off by Iron Man, and then they send him to Wakanda, put him on ice again. And I'm sure they're doing medical checks, and they're gonna say like, "Oh, it's a human being. Don't worry." But if our buddy Io is a Skrull, swaps out Bucky Barnes, flushes him down the toilet, puts in Skrull Bucky with missing an arm, and then they give this Skrull Bucky like a mechanical arm. Oh baby, look out! Look out! Ryan, look out!
Yo, it would be so bananas if like a Skrull replaced Bucky and like physically copied his metal arm, and then like somebody shot fake Bucky in the metal arm.
Oh, and the blood
like, he just started bleeding. It's like, you got me.
It's my metal.
Actually metal.
Could be dangerous. Could be dangerous.
And that's how everyone finds out. That'd be hilarious. But no, Bucky is a really big Skrull candidate. I feel because like
he's changed a lot too. He's changed a lot too.
Yeah, like he has a new life. Like the government sort of forgave him, I guess, for everything that he's done.
Yeah, they forgave the man. You're free to go. Get out of here.
You're just free to go. That's kind of sketchy. Like I feel like if Bucky was a Skrull, I feel like it makes sense for him to get away with all those crimes. Because like if other Skrulls were in the government, they'd be like, you can go. Yeah. Hail Skrull, wink, wink.
It also makes sense to swap him out in Wakanda because now he's like cured of his brain stuff, right? You can say boxcar to him all you want. It doesn't do anything. But maybe that's because he's not the same Bucky anymore. He just has to pretend like, is it going to work? Oh, no, it didn't work. Don't worry. I'm not a Skrull. Wink.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if they made like a Skrull sleeper agent within Bucky who doesn't remember that he's a Skrull.
Oh,
and
he has no idea he's a Skrull.
Be Bucky.
Oh my gosh.
Like no idea because they were just doing some mind stuff. It's like we need you to go deep undercover, like deep
undercover.
We need you to believe that you're Bucky. Bucky, I feel like is a big candidate because like he's just like really close with like the new Captain America and like just people have his trust now because he's like this. He's a relic of the World War II, and he's the only one that they have left. And like, so now that Steve Rogers is gone, so I feel like it just makes sense. Like, hey, people trust this old white man.
This world-renowned assassin who's murdered many political leaders. People trust this guy. What are we doing? Lock Bucky up. What are we doing?
Yeah, lucky. Bucky needs to be locked up.
Lock him up, baby.
Or at least observed for a very long time. But who we got next, buddy?
Well, let's think about our good friend Jimmy Woo, okay? A man of mystery
Not the Woo
and sleight of hand magic, okay? He was assigned to work with the FBI in San Francisco, but he suddenly just like shows up in New Jersey. He's chasing this person that we never ever meet or never hear about ever again, and he gets involved in the Westview hex. It's very, very suspicious, okay? And I think his like high level of authority makes him a good Skrull candidate. But I think, and now that we see that he's finally mastered the magic arts, right? He can do the sleight of hand. It's because he's a Skrull. He's not, real Jimmy Woo can't do the magic, okay? So I think Jimmy's a low chance, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
See, I would love if Jimmy Woo was a Skrull because like I just think that he has a really great, funny personality.
He would be a funny Skrull. He'd be a very goofy Skrull.
It's such a funny Skrull. And it would really bum me out if Jimmy was a Skrull because like again, Skrulls can be good people. There are good Skrulls. And so like, Jimmy, the person could be a very good person still, but like, man, like he really fooled me. Because like you really just like he was one of the best parts of WandaVision.
Am I?
Like it was just he's such a good, wholesome dude. It's like, man, I would have never suspected you. So yeah, I feel like it makes sense considering that he is in the FBI and he has all those connections and he could easily trick everyone because he's just the last person on the FBI that I would suspect to be a double agent. The last person. But let's talk about Tyler Hayward, the very sketchy man from WandaVision. Because speaking of the Westview Hex, Tyler Hayward makes another great candidate as a Skrull, as he is one of the higher-ups at SWORD who had a devious little plan of his own to rebuild himself a vision robot man. And he does wind up getting arrested at the end of WandaVision, but could he have been a Skrull this entire time?
I mean, he was pretty like nefarious. He had some stuff going on. He was not very trusting of other people. He was trying to push Monica away. He could be a Skrull. I think he could be a Skrull. Especially if he was sensing that there was something up with Monica. Like he's like, oh, this chick's got like latent powers. And I said chick, that's Tyler Hayward. That's not me. That's not me saying that. That's Tyler Hayward. I'm not that misogynistic, okay?
That was Tyler.
That was Tyler. I'm speaking as Tyler. But yeah, there was something up with that guy. And he was like, he really wanted to kill Monica, really wanted to kill those kids, wanted to kill Wanda. Like, he could be a Skrull. Now, I would think Nick Fury would be wise to it. Because again, I think Nick Fury's got his plan of like, let's look inside of everybody's bodies to make sure they're humans. But he's up in space, and if this guy worked his way into the government as a Skrull version of Tyler Hayward and got appointed to SWORD, Nick Fury might not have a say in it. I don't know. He could be one though.
I feel like having Tyler Hayward as a Skrull makes sense considering that SWORD is supposed to be monitoring like alien threats, like especially in the comics anyway. Like I know now it's like the sentient weapon program. It's not like the sentient world observation, it's sentient weapon in terms of the acronym for SWORD. So I feel like having a Skrull in charge of like who watches what aliens go in and out of Earth's atmosphere is perfect. Because like then you could just be like, yep. No Skrulls are coming to Earth. Don't even worry about it. We're watching the skies. They're totally fine. The border has been patrolled.
I mean,
I feel like
that does make a lot of sense, MT.
Tyler Hayward's office is really sketchy to me because, like, behind him he has this like whole like constellation map, and like I don't know, he seems very concerned with space, even though like that's what SWORD does. Like SWORD is all about like satellites and whatever, but like. He himself seems very obsessed with space. And so I feel like him being a Skrull and having his origins out in space, maybe like his office is decorated in a sense of like, hey, I miss being out there in space and like I miss
my space.
Being a space alien. Space.
I like the idea that Hayward's a Skrull, but Nick Fury knew the whole time. And he's just like, yeah, I know he's a Skrull. He just got a little insubordinate and went a little crazy. But yes, he's a Skrull. Yeah, and you're right, MT. They should have. We saw on the SWORD space station that there were Skrulls walking around. Like, they're working hand in hand, and I think Nick Fury, he'd want a few Skrulls on the ground doing stuff, but I think this Skrull went a little off book a little bit. And he's like, man, what are you doing? Well, here's someone that many have had suspicions on for some time now, and it's Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, okay? Now, with the recent passing of the actor William Hurt, who plays Ross, I don't know how likely it would be that Ross will now be revealed to be a Skrull, but it could be a way to suddenly explain his absence now in the MCU. If it's some sort of thing where like, oh, they figured out he was a Skrull and they killed him. I don't know. Thunderbolt Ross was obsessed with recreating the super soldier serum, something that the Skrulls would certainly have a lot of interest in. These are people, this is a race of aliens who've been hunted down and almost annihilated completely by the Kree. They want to get their super Skrull action going on. And if this is how we get to super Skrulls by them using the super soldier serum, like that would be very interesting. Thunderbolt Ross was in a position of power, high up in the military again, had a lot of insider knowledge of what was going on. So him being a Skrull does make a lot of sense. I think, the tragic death of William Hurt really kind of maybe changed a lot of their plans. Who knows what they had going in.
Oh, for sure.
But if it's a way to like kind of posthumously reveal that like he was a Skrull and he got eliminated either by the Kree or something else, I don't know. But I would love it if that Thaddeus Ross was a Skrull, and he was a bad Skrull trying to get the super soldier serum for the Skrulls. Like that, I think would be a very interesting
I
story.
love that idea a lot. That'd be so fun as a way to introduce the idea of the Super Skrull, because we know that the Kree in history were interested in enhancing themselves to be more super. But like, with the Skrulls are a lot more super than the Kree. Like they can change their physical appearance. But we also know that the Super Skrull is a thing in the comics, and that there is a next level to the Skrull physiology that I feel like would be prime for a Skrull Ross to sort of like shepherd in. It's like, hey, we're sort of trying to get this weird like human science of creating super soldier people, and we almost got it, for the glory of the Skrull Empire. But this Hulk guy is really getting in our way here.
This is a problem.
I think that really annoying green person. I can't relate. Said a Skrull. But yeah, no, I think that Ross is a really good chance. But with the passing of William Hurt, it would be kind of like a really they'd have to really write very well.
Really well written. Yeah, I don't want to see a digital Hurt walking around. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't think they filmed anything for Secret Invasion with William Hurt. As far as I know, they didn't. I don't know, but it would be very interesting. But yeah, it's so sad because there was so much we wanted to see from Ross, the character, in the MCU. So this might be a fun way to like send it off. It's also, it's an interesting way to think that like the Hulk's an accident that comes about because the Skrulls are messing around trying to get the super soldier serum. And if like Bruce eventually found out and was like, wait, I'm some mess up by the Skrulls, and now you've got me and Abomination running around because the Skrulls wanted to get a super soldier serum? Like, that's wild. That's wild stuff. I love that.
Hey, man, that's Marvel Comics.
That's Marvel Comics,
I
baby.
can totally see that happening. But let's talk about a different type of a Skrull candidate here. A person that had some type of interaction with Mr. Ross, Yelena Belova, who debuted in Black Widow. Yelena Belova first appeared in the Black Widow film, where Natasha is reunited with her long-lost sister from another Mr. But was this her real sister? Could Yelena be a Skrull?
It's a perfect way to slip one in, right? Like, here's someone you thought was dead or gone, or like you haven't talked to in a long time, and boom, all of a sudden she's back, and here she is, a Skrull. A Skrull. She's like the easiest one to kind of slip in, I feel like, because she has this mysterious history.
Oh yeah,
no one's had tabs on her, and all of a sudden she's back. I like this idea. I like her being a Skrull. Now we did see her get blipped. But a Skrull can still be blipped. It can still happen.
It's true. That's just life.
You just got to remember when you come back to keep your form that you were in when you went away.
Exactly. I think that Yelena Belova is the highest likely to be a Skrull.
Oh, okay.
Because she is just too hot, and I think that I don't trust that.
There's no human.
I think that your face is too attractive. I'm like, there's like you really messed up, Skrull, because you made a perfect human. I don't understand. I don't know how you can do that. I'm just being stupid.
No, that's it. I think
I'm not
folks out there, that's a great pickup line. If you're at a bar, you see someone you're attracted to, you'd be like, yo, you have to get an X-ray of that body because you must be a Skrull. There's no way. There's no way a human could be this beautiful.
Are you a Skrull? Because you out of this world, girl. Oh my God.
It's possible.
But who else we got?
Well, speaking of Yelena, right? We know she's working with Val, or at least was working for Val. We don't know if she's still working with Val. But who is this Val, really? This is another character who just kind of came out of the shadows, out of nowhere.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Could Val be a Skrull of her own, putting together a team of enhanced individuals who think they're working with like a shadow arm of the government, but they're really working for a shadow arm of the Skrulls?
Yes, I think Val's a major candidate for Skrull.
Because we know nothing about Val.
Because we don't really know what she's really up to. She is up to no good. It seems that she doesn't want the Avengers around. She put a hit on. Well, this was because of the whole Hawkeye situation, where like she was more than happy to put a hit on Hawkeye. But I feel like she herself could secretly want all the Avengers gone, so that she can help the Secret Invasion out.
Yeah.
Because like you just get rid of Earth defenses.
Yeah.
because those are Earth's biggest defenders right now.
Right. And if you have a team that can put down the Avengers or the military or whomever, boom. Very easy. Very easy.
This one might be a little bit out there, but like, and this would really make me sad, but Cassie Lang from the Ant-Man movies
If you know how I feel, why would you say that?
could potentially be a Skrull.
Oh,
It would be a tragic.
That's
It would hurt my
tragic.
soul because
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
little Cassie Lang. She's one of the cutest MCU characters we ever had. If she was a Skrull, it would be sad, but it would also make sense considering that she is close to Scott Lang,
Right.
who is close to Hank Pym, who is famously very private and so secluded and keeps all of his research super private. So if he can find an in to Hank Pym's inner circle through Cassie Lang, it just makes sense to me. It'd be really sad, but like I could see the Skrulls making that play.
that does make sense.
Considering that Scott has not seen his daughter for a very long time. So like he doesn't really know. Cassie could be anyone.
She did grow up while he
he's
was
like,
gone,
hey.
and she was like, "I'm Cassie," and he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess so, sure." Just
Like,
waiting outside,
yeah,
very suspiciously, like, "Oh, here I am." It's like, okay,
You're a Burnett in Cassie's house, so I guess you're Cassie.
I guess you're Cassie. I've been an absentee dad for 5 years. Not my fault. Not my fault. I was in the quantum realm. Not my fault.
I was in a van for about 5 years, just thinking about my life.
Now they did change the actresses, right? For Ant-Man Quantumanium, there's a new actress playing Cassie. But we're not saying that's the difference, right? We're saying at some point they swapped it in. Now maybe real Cassie is still alive. Let's hope. If that's the case, maybe she's being kept somewhere as like a tool. But I like this idea, MT, you had of like getting close to Hank Pym, because in the Secret Invasion in the comics, Hank Pym turned out to be a Skrull too. There was a Skrull playing Hank Pym. And they could do that here, but I think they want to subvert our expectations and not give us stuff directly that they gave us in the comics. Having Cassie Lang be the Skrull would be like a huge shocking reveal, and it would really devastate Hank Pym or Scott Lang, and could cause like all sorts of ramifications.
For sure.
I love this idea, and I love the idea that like Scott has to then go find his daughter wherever she is, being held by the Skrulls somewhere. Great stuff. Yeah, because the Skrulls, of course, would want to get their hands on Pym Tech. How powerful that is. Of course they would want to get to that.
It's super, like, it's quantum energy and Pym Tech are the two biggest wants in the MCU. And so, like, if Hank Pym has access to both, then, like, yeah, it would make sense for them to go for Cassie as a Skrull person. But, you know, obviously, I guess Scott or Hope would be even better, but Cassie's the next best thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, now let us take our final picks here. Who are our top two candidates for actually being Skrulls in the MCU?
Okay, I'll give you my two first, MT. I laid out my argument before. Happy Hogan, baby. He's going to turn out to be a Skrull.
Ooh.
He's going to be one of the good ones.
That'd be a big one.
But he's going to turn out to be a Skrull, okay? I think you can pretty much lock that one together. I like that. My second pick, I kind of like one of the ones you brought up, and it really made me think. I think Io might be a Skrull. I think that's a really good one. Because you don't think about it right away.
That's a good one too.
And it's an important character that you don't think about right away. I love that idea. I think the Skrulls would want to get into Wakanda. You know, big shit's about to go down there. Having a Skrull there too, I think is going to be really important. So those are my two picks. Happy Hogan and Io. What about you, MT?
I'm going to go with Pepper Potts.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to say Pepper Potts is a Skrull because, like, after Endgame, I feel like Pepper Potts as a character doesn't really have much to do. And, like, in order for her character to have, like, you know, something fun to do that is, like, in season, I feel like making Pepper
very
a
in
Skrull
season
is the way to go. And I feel like that'd be a really fun opportunity for Morgan to sort of, like, suss out the secret invasion for herself.
Yeah.
She's the daughter of Tony Stark and Pepper Potts, so she's a very smart cookie. So for her to be like, you're not really acting like my
You're not my mom.
It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
You're not my real mom. I think that'd be really fun. But also, I love your idea with Io here. I'm gonna have to also take Io because Io, she's one of the key members of the Dora Milaje, and she's
a good one.
So, like, it would be like a very huge, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, considering that she helped heal Bucky, and like she's just so trusted in Wakandan society. Like, I would be shocked. So, like, I definitely suspect Io for sure because it's a very smart move. I think Aya was our big winner for
She's
today.
our big winner. And I know there's tons of other candidates out there. We didn't go through every single one. You know,
Yes.
Everett Ross is sitting out there somewhere. No one knows what he's up to.
Right.
You know, there's people everywhere. There's definitely people in the government who we haven't even met yet are going to be. If you've got your own picks.
Like Ant-Man's crew, Luis.
Luis has got to be a Skrull. He's got to be. He talks too fast. He's got to be a Skrull. Tell us
You
how
can't even
wrong.
tell a good human story, right?
Yeah. Tell us your favorite ideas in the comments. Tell us how wrong we are. But man, you guys are going to be eating crow when IO turns out to be a
Eating
Skrull.
crow. But if you're not a Skrull, be sure to head on over to newrockstarsmerch.com to see all of our awesome merch options. Right now, our partners at Epic Hero Shop are rolling out their Epic Kids line of merch that has the perfect back-to-school item for the nerdy kid in your life. And don't worry, they still have all the awesome merch options for nerdy adults as well. You so support the channel and grab yourself and your little one some merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com today. But before we continue, I want to thank some people that help us bring Big Question to you. People like Mint Mobile, because after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there is always a catch. Like finding out your best friend has actually been a Skrull this entire time. That's a big old catch. One of Marvel's biggest catches. But thankfully, Mint Mobile is out there offering premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. And the best part? There's no catch whatsoever. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. And many folks here at New Rockstars have made the switch to Mint Mobile, and the quality of service that they get, as well as the savings that they get compared to their old providers, is quite amazing. It's quite drastic. And for anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family, and all plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. So use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/bigq. That's mintmobile.com/bigq. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/bigq.
Hey, you out there, do you worry about the many nefarious forces looking to get a piece of your sweet, sweet computer? Well, Avast is a global leader in cyber protection for more than 30 years and trusted by over 435 million users, and they prevent over 1.5 billion attacks every month. Avast's new all-in-one solution, Avast One, helps you take control of your safety and privacy online through a range of features. Avast One is their best protection yet, giving you everything you need to take control of your safety and privacy online, and accessible through a single, super easy-to-use interface. A vast multitude of features provide you with privacy and security as you scour the web, and even help with your machine's performance, making sure it's a Ferrari just cruising down the highway of information. I like their award-winning antivirus that stops viruses and malware from harming my devices, as well as their data breach monitoring that will alert me if my online accounts have been compromised. It happens too often. Someone protect my online accounts. Plus, I always feel confident using public Wi-Fi when I'm out there in the wild, thanks to their firewall protection, which keeps your personal information secure and prevents others from trying to access my computer and steal my data. I don't know how a firewall works, but Avast does, and they do a great job protecting my stuff. Thanks to Avast for supporting Big Question. You too can confidently take control of your online world with Avast One. It helps you stay safe from viruses, phishing attacks, ransomware, hacking attempts, and other cyber crimes. Learn more about Avast One at avast.com. Again, that's Avast, AVAST.com.
All right, Brandon, now it is time for our bite-sized questions. Are you ready,
I need a bite-sized question. Yeah, it's so heavy.
Take a freaking bite.
Take a bite of this question, baby.
All right, Brandon, in Black Panther, the heart-shaped herb was able to grow due to vibranium crashing into Wakanda. So, does this herb only grow in that specific crash site, or could it be possibly found in other locations in Wakanda? This is from TreySwab1 on Twitter. Thank you, Trey.
Yes. Well, what we learn about the heart-shaped herb's origin in the MCU occurs during the opening narration of Black Panther. In case you forgot, the vibranium meteorite crashes into Africa in the area that is now Wakanda, and the radiation from the vibranium, quote, affected the plant life, end quote, around the site of that crash, okay? And it was Bast who originally led Bashenga to the site of the heart-shaped herb via a vision. This is very similar to how the heart-shaped herb came to be in the comics. It was also a plant created via the radiation from the vibranium meteorite that only grows in Wakanda. So to get the heart-shaped herb, you need two things. You need the radiation from the pure vibranium along with whatever the original plant was that got mutated. Because unless this meteorite had seeds on it, it's taking a plant that already exists and changing it, mutating it. Now, we've been speculating here on the channel that there might be more vibranium out there in the MCU, because there is in the comics. There's other locations to find vibranium. So it's possible that there's more heart-shaped herb. And since Killmonger seemed to burn the entire supply of heart-shaped herb, we got to hope there's a little bit more out there somewhere. But what I'm wondering is if there's other locations of vibranium, there could possibly be different plants that have been mutated that have different side effects. So maybe there's not like another heart-shaped herb out there, but there's another plant that was mutated by vibranium and has like different powers now, which could be very interesting if there's all these mutated plants hanging out there. So I bet there's more heart-shaped herb somewhere because we're gonna get another Black Panther, someone taking up the mantle.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they find more vibranium out there in the world, I hope they find some other mutated plants because I think that would be very cool.
In Captain Marvel, when the Star Force was being ambushed by the Skrulls on Torfa, like Torfa is a planet that has vibranium in the comics. Like there's vibranium stores there. So there's potential for vibranium to be on that planet and for heart-shaped herbs to be on that planet as well. So hopefully we learn more about Torfa in the future in the MCU, and hopefully Torfa has vibranium in the MCU like they do in the comics. But now it's time for our box of scraps, Brandon. Ready? My goodness.
Built in the game with a box of scraps.
I'm opening up a box like a mime. I'm picking out a box of scraps, and now I'm making an Iron Man suit
cute.
out of it.
Cute.
I don't
So
know what I'm
cute.
saying.
So adorable.
Now, Brandon, if you could shapeshift into anyone in the world and take their place, who would you choose?
Shapeshift into anyone and take their place. Oh man. I don't want to be anyone famous. That's a lot of pressure. I guess if you could be like someone who's just given money, but you don't have to do any work for it. Yeah. I was shapeshift into just like a Vanderbilt. Someone in the Vanderbilt family line and just slip right in, get my inheritance, say thank you very much, and walk out the door, and that's it. I don't want to have to be famous. That seems like a lot of work. I don't want to have like a powerful job. That's a lot of work. I just want to shapeshift into someone who can come and collect the family's trust and then walk back out the door again.
I respect that.
Easy peasy. That's what I'm looking for. Nothing too crazy.
That's a life hack.
Very simple. Very simple stuff. That's my choice.
Very smart.
What about you, MT?
You know what? I want to go down a somewhat similar route, but you know me and my my weird obsessions.
Okay.
I'm going to wish to be Haley Steinfeld's dog.
MT.
The greatest life of all time.
Getting walked by Haley Steinfeld. No, you can do it. You can do it. We know the Skrulls can be animals. You can be an animal if you want.
It's true. I would totally not mind being Haley Steinfeld's dog because Haley Steinfeld loves her dog.
I think it's going to build a lot of resentment.
And a human being.
When Haley Steinfeld gets married to a human being, MT, and you have to be at the wedding in your little dog bow tie with the rings tied to your back, you're going to resent it that day.
You're going to resent the wedding, that day. All right?
Also, at some point, Haley's going to be like,
I'm peeing on the groom.
Haley's going to be like, why is my dog 50 years old? Why don't this dog die? Why does it keep living?
My dog won't die, but I'm not. Why is my dog crying at my wedding?
Did my dog just try to kill my husband? What's happening?
Husband? My dog won't stop growling at my husband. Google search. But that is it for this episode of Big Question. I want to thank Brandon for joining me on this episode. As always, please follow Brandon at Grin and Barrick on Twitter. He's an amazing man. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But most importantly, you can follow New Rockstars everywhere we are on the internet. And when you do on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video. And if you want to continue the New Rockstars conversation, Join the new Rockstars Discord server. If you're over 18 and interested, just click the link for the new Rockstars Discord in the description box below and join the conversation today. We love you guys so much, and thank you guys for spending time with us, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.